Look, it's just there. Okay, you ready then?
Absolutely ready.
Okay, let's go then.
Hi everyone, it's Angela and Karen again. We're back again for another podcast perspective. And this week we're going to talk about social media and how this can affect our mental and our emotional well-being. So when we talk about social media, we're going to be referring to all of the platforms. So things like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and any other ones that we don't actually know of, but I'm sure there are a lot of people out there.
Young people.
Younger than us anyway, that will know about. So I think to start with, it's worth saying that social media is like a double-edged sword, and it can have both positive and negative effects on our well-being. I think we both agree on that, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what do you think of the positive effects?
Well, there are a few, aren't there? I had a time some years ago now where I had to work from home, and it wasn't the best time in my life, and I was working in Bristol, and I absolutely relied on Facebook to keep me grounded. I didn't really have any context, didn't really have any friends or any support network in Bristol, and so I wasn't having the best time. And literally the highlight of my morning would be going onto Facebook and just seeing people I knew having normal lives. And, I just, that kept me very sane, actually. So as soon as we start talking about positive effects of social media, I'm always taken straight back to that time, and it's probably 10 or 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
But it was so important to me just to feel that I was grounded and that I was still a member of a society and friendship groups and all of those things. So on that particular scenario, in that particular situation, it was absolutely, it really genuinely did help save my sanity. There are other things as well, obviously that's a very personal reflection, but I think just generally they can make you feel part of your wider community. Here in St Neots, we've just had the St Neots Festival launch this weekend, and
I was so sorry I couldn't make that. I couldn't go.
I mean, I didn't go either, truthfully, but the stuff on social media and people I've bumped into, it just sounds like it was fantastic. And first of all, it was advertised on social media, so a lot of people will have known it was there.
Yeah.
Lots of people were posting from there, and some of that was the organisers, but some were other just normal attendees.
Oh, lots from people who'd just gone down there.
And it was just fabulous. And I also think it must have been so rewarding for all those people that gave up their time, as they were volunteers.
Yes, there were. Yeah.
To see that feedback and to see how responsive and how positive it was. And for me, that's a great example of how social media can really be part of a community. I mean, St Neots is a large
inclusive
town.
Yeah.
But it just felt like it reverberated through the whole town. So I think in that respect, that's an amazing way to use social media.
It certainly is, yeah.
And advice about how to get there and how to park and what you could take and what you couldn't take. So I just think, the use of social media in that environment in terms of a community event was absolutely...
it was very well done, wasn't it?
Really
very
was,
well done.
yeah. I mean, those guys are just incredible. So I think in terms of community, it can be really helpful. I think just in terms of our old friend serotonin as happiness, joy and fun, it's silly videos, it's telling a silly story. Memories are fabulous as well, aren't they?
Talking about silly videos, my sister has got me into this. It's called she's called Penny the cat.
Right.
And every day I look at Penny the cat and it makes me laugh. She speaks.
What platform's Penny on?
It's The Voice. So she's on Instagram and she's also on Facebook.
Right, okay. Penny the cat.
I will introduce you to Penny
the cat later. That would be good if you did. I like hilarious. A cat story.
Yeah, very funny.
And TikTok as well. I'm a really big TikTok fan. And again, I'm not interested in all the drama and all that stuff. I like all the silly dancing videos and, I like the cats doing silly things. And so I just think in that respect it can be really happy and joyful, can't it? I've already talked about memories, but I think also we can be grateful for seeing photos of and keeping in touch with family and friends, and that's a little bit like my anecdote from being in Bristol, I guess.
And that's why I started using Facebook, first of all, and it was to keep in touch with friends that I don't see, that live a long way away, but I've got friends in Canada and places, and And I don't see them, and we don't tend to phone like we used to, use a telephone. So it was a really good way. Watching their children grow up and all of that sort of thing. So
Yeah,
it's
you
great.
feel like you're a little bit connected to day-to-day life, don't you?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, I've got family in Australia, and it's a very similar
Yes.
thing, isn't it, really? It's just a really easy way to keep in touch, get the main headlines for people,
Yeah.
even though they maybe are in a completely different time zone
Yeah.
to us.
Exactly.
So I think that's great as well.
Yeah.
You can get lots of self-help information on there as well, can't you? You know,
Yeah.
groups for a specific topic, and that can be a really great way to use social media. Things that are direct interest, obviously there might be community events as well, but direct interest or a specific interest to you. I'm trying to think of an example. I like the buy and sell pages, for example, but there are groups for all sorts of topics, aren't there?
I'm in a gardening group,
Right.
so I can,
You love a bit of
I
gardening.
love a bit of gardening, so I can ask on there if there's something that I want to know about, and people will respond. It's really helpful.
Yeah.
And there's also a menopause group that I follow as well.
Okay, one of our favourite topics.
But, yeah, one of our favourite topics.
Yeah.
But, and that at the very beginning when I first joined it was really helpful.
Yeah. So I think that's another way in which they're so beneficial. I think they can also help businesses grow. I mean, I advertise my own hypnotherapy business on social media.
Yeah, so do I.
So I think.
I advertise mine, not yours.
Oh, okay. Well, that's rather selfish of you, isn't it? What sort of friend are you? I do the same thing. I don't worry about you. It's all about me. And I think that's another thing. I mean, we have SNIT's referrals and recommendations. So I think that's fabulous.
Yeah, it is.
You know, anyone recommend a plumber or a gardener or whatever, and you know, I think that's an amazing tool. So I think there are loads of positives. There are probably some that I've not even mentioned there, but I just think they can be an amazing, really positive power for good. But the thing we have to remember about them is they are deliberately designed to be addictive.
Yes.
So that we continue to use them, because someone somewhere will be making money from them, or using them for nefarious purposes.
Yeah, quite often. Yeah.
Okay. So that's some of the positives. What about the negatives?
Well, I think, you know, like you say, as they're addictive in a certain way, and there's evidence to show that using social media has been linked to things like loneliness. So sort of reducing. What it can do is reduce people's willingness or motivation to have face-to-face interactions with people. So do everything via social media, and then you start to lose that ability to interact socially with other people, which can be a perpetuating cycle because you then stop.
I was on holiday in Portugal a couple of weeks ago, and I used to see this family every time at dinner in the restaurant, and the baby was there with an iPad. The dad was there on his phone, and I could never quite see the mum, but I assumed she was on the phone as well, and that was their meal time.
They're not interacting with each other, and I think that's. I mean, I love to interact face to face with people. It just brings you so much joy, and we're social humans.
Yes.
That's what we are. We're social animals, and one of the other things I think that social media can do is lead to what's now termed as FOMO, so fear of missing out, because you're looking at everybody else's social media, you see what they're doing, they're having so much fun.
Yes.
You know, it's not very often that people put on there how awful they're feeling and what a bad time they've had. So there's this perception that everybody's having a better life than you. And
very dangerous.
Very dangerous because it can lead to loneliness, it can lead to anxiety,
sense of failure, so many
low
negative
self-esteem,
things.
Depression, you know, and really low moods and things. And I think so comparing yourself to somebody else, their lifestyle, but also comparing yourself to somebody physically, because of course you can change the way you look on social media. You know, you're taking lots of photos, you can edit, filter, exactly. And it can lead to all sorts of issues around confidence and such like. And then there's things like poor sleep, because you're spending so much time on social media. You can't put your phone down, you can't put it away, so you're looking at it all the time. And also there's other negatives like cyberbullying, which is, you know, that's quite a dark subject really, and it happens to so many people.
And it's a
when we were
relatively
at school, we would go home.
Yeah.
We wouldn't
Absolutely.
have this social media. So if people wouldn't be able to bully you 24 hours a day. Whereas now, because people have access to social media all that time, this is what happens.
And I think it's a relatively new phenomenon, as you say, isn't it? You know, when I was at school, I was bullied at school. I think a lot of people were, but you could always at least have a reprieve, couldn't you, at home in the evening?
Yes.
But it never stops now, and I'm not sure that we've necessarily, as a society, got ways to manage the impact of that, because it is a relatively new thing.
This is it.
But it's incessant, and there is no break. As if you have a mobile device or a device of some sort, then you are accessible to people all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, and even with things like blocking, people, if people are determined to do it, they will find a way. They will find you wherever you are. You know, they'll change their name so that it looks like it's somebody else. It'll be a new account on Twitter or Facebook or whatever there is. And there's lots of scams that happen as well. So.
Yes.
And the scams become, so someone may join a group and they've got completely ill intentions. So they join a group, they then make friends with somebody on that group. They then start to try to scam one of their friends. You know, they'll put out friend requests, and whoever answers them, they can then start to have a relationship with, and it's a completely false profile. And it becomes a real problem. And I know that there's quite a few people who have been, on the romantic side, been scammed out of money through those types of things.
You unfortunately do hear a lot of those, don't you? And it's just exploiting people who are vulnerable, actually, isn't it?
It is. And it is all about the vulnerability, I think.
Yeah.
So there are things that you can do to manage it, aren't there? So,
thank goodness there are. But it can be difficult because, as I say, we just need to remember that it's meant to be addictive, isn't it? And that's just a real hook for some people.
Yeah.
So I think there's a number of ways to do that, isn't there? For example, I mean, first of all, try and limit the time you spend on it. You know, maybe have certain times of day that you will log on and check out, you know, your social media. As I mentioned, I'm a TikTok fan, but I only really allow myself to look at it for maybe half an hour in the evening, and obviously not too close to bedtime either, because otherwise I know that I will lose hours of my life to TikTok.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you just keep scrolling and there's more and more gratification, isn't there?
Yeah.
So I think, you know, things like that. I think generally it's always a good time to have a time to close off social media in the evening anyway, because you do need a gap between that and actually trying to go to sleep. In terms of sleep hygiene, that's a really good thing to do.
I leave my phone in the kitchen. I don't take it anywhere after about 8 o'clock in the evening. My phone just sits in the kitchen.
That's a really good tip, actually. Do you put it on charge while it's there?
I do.
Yeah.
And then I leave it, and I don't look at it generally until the next day.
So why you never message me after a certain time, or if I message you I don't get a reply.
That's exactly why.
I'm in the kitchen being ignored. Some people put a timer on it as well, because you say it's very easy to lose time, isn't it? So you know, set a timer for, if you've got 20 minutes or half an hour, to put yourself a timer on to do that. So a specific time of day, a specific period of time. Or indeed a complete social media break. I have at least a couple of friends I can talk of who absolutely just aren't on Facebook anymore. They might maybe do Insta, but
I've got a couple of friends who've never been on it.
And I just think, you know, they're not happy, and they've chosen to walk away because they realised that it wasn't actually making them happy.
Yeah.
You know, I think for them it was a lot of all this glamorising other people's lives, and, you know, just was making them feel dissatisfied when they had no good reason to be.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've got friends who've just taken a complete break from it, and I suspect probably will never go back, but it's up to you if you make that decision. And in fact, there are studies to show that if you reduce your social media use by even as much as 15 to 30 minutes a day, it's been shown to improve your mental health.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful statistic, isn't it?
Very powerful. Yeah, very.
So, you know, there's lots of reasons to be very careful with it, and maybe be evaluating all the time the emotions that it's engendering in you.
Yes.
That's maybe a good indicator, isn't it, of how you should be or could be handling it.
Yeah. And I think keeping an eye on your general health and well-being is really important too, isn't it? So trying to make sure you've got a regular sleeping pattern, eating healthily, making sure that you're not overdoing it on the smoking and the drinking. You know, I would never say don't do it unless it suits you, but just keeping an eye on it and being aware of what you're doing.
I'd agree completely.
Taking regular exercise if you can. You know, even if you are limited in some way, You can move your arms, move your legs a little bit more than usual, doing that.
Yeah.
And doing things like meditation or self-hypnosis, those sorts of things. And it's really interesting. I was at a conference at the weekend and we had a talk on whether hypnotherapy training should involve mindfulness and meditation as a to ensure that people who are training as hypnotherapists look after their own health.
Okay, I understand.
And so one of the things that we did was in the middle of the presentation. The chap that was presenting said, "Okay, so how about we just do 5 minutes now?" And everyone's like, "Oh, okay, then yeah, that sounds great." So we all sat there, and it was just amazing for those 5 minutes. He did a guided mindfulness meditation, and then we all came out of the meditation, and he carried on with his presentation, and everybody was completely relaxed. And it literally took 5 minutes. So 5 minutes of your day to spend on that sort of thing is really, really, really powerful.
I always like the story that I've heard you tell before, but I think it was when you first discovered hypnosis or hypnotherapy and decided to be a course, and they made you do something in a training session. The one where you had to get up and follow each other around.
So
it was a similar thing, wasn't it?
It was a similar thing. I was at a conference then, but that was a research conference, and there was a meditation workshop. And I'd never done it before, and that's what I did. So I went and I joined it, and we all sat in a circle, and the trainer asked us all to stand up, close our eyes, and walk slowly behind each other around the room or around the circle, which was the most bizarre thing, but it was really, really good. I mean, that's what. You're absolutely right. That's what brought me into hypnosis. All those years ago. Probably about 16 years ago now.
And there are so many of these resources available as well. I mean, there's so much on YouTube, for example. That's probably my go-to place in terms of trying to find a meditation or affirmations or any of those things.
Yeah.
So much good stuff on there.
There is
that's just
really
absolutely free.
It is.
It's a great. That's a great resource, and that's another great use of social media, I guess, as well, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And I think with clients, you and I would both talk to them about what's behind, what is the emotion that's behind your need to be on social media, what's it all about?
Yeah.
And then you can explore that and work on those feelings.
Help you find healthier ways to, to get those rewards or those incentives than perhaps, really abusing the old social media channels. Yeah.
And that would be things like meeting up with a friend, maybe journaling or treating yourself. How do you treat yourself, Karen?
Well, lots of people have a bath, but I'm really a shower girl. I just do genuinely love a good shower.
Have a bath.
That's okay. We don't have to do everything together, do we?
No.
Mine would generally be, my walk in the morning is my treat, and I like a walk to have a destination. So I always end up at my favourite coffee place in town, and I'll have a cappuccino. And then I'll do another walk coming home again. But for me, that's my treat. And
it's
actually, if I can't get it done, I miss it. So it can be the smallest of things, can't it? That just makes you feel rewarded, or that you're special and that you deserve that.
Yeah. Even sometimes my treat will be giving myself half an hour to read a novel.
Yeah.
I don't read the whole novel in half an hour. That would be amazing, but to just give myself half an hour to read, which is a really nice treat.
And it doesn't have to be a lot of time, does it? That you give yourself for these things. I say that to people a lot as well. People ask, I haven't got time. You can find 5-10 minutes if you need to. You really
If
can.
you really look at your day. And actually, that's another thing you can do, is you can actually map out what you do, how much time you spend on things.
Yeah, that's always a fascinating exercise.
Because you don't think you're doing it, but you might spend sort of 20 minutes a day, 7, 8, 9 times a day looking at social media, and you don't think you look at it much because you've just had a quick look.
Yeah. Well, some phones will tell you your screen time, and that always is a little bit of a
moment,
isn't it?
Mine came out this morning actually. It said you were down 2 hours last week. I was like, hurrah!
I've been so busy giving myself treats. I'm in baths, I'm so clean. Oh dear. So yes, lots of really great things about social media and lots of positives, but it can be negative too.
it's worth just noticing, isn't it?
It
Whether
really
you're
is.
sliding into that negative area, and then there are things you can do to bring yourself out of
And
it.
just check your feelings, just check your emotions when you do put your phone down.
Yeah.
Are you feeling happy and energized, or are you just feeling a little bit grumpy about your life?
Yeah.
As simple
Yeah.
as that, really, the indicators.
There,
aren't they?
absolutely, yeah.
Can't we
You're
be?
right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the easy way to do it. Yeah. And as I say, lots of things you can do to sort it out yourself. But if you need help, you need help, and we all need help sometimes, don't we?
We do. We all
And
need
we know
help.
two quite good hypnotherapists, don't we? Can't think of their names.
What do you mean quite good? We know two exceptionally good hypnotherapists.
Oh yeah.
Well, that is quite.
Reframe
Reframe
that, Karen.
Yeah.
We know
reframe it.
two good hypnotherapists.
Yes.
We do.
There we go.
go. Okay, so talking about good, it's that time again, Andrew, isn't it?
Is it that time?
It is that time, and once again, I've done no preparation. Why do we do this? You haven't either, have you?
No.
Every week we sit here and we go, so I know it's going to happen, but I've done nothing to prepare, and now I'm going to find it a little bit stressful. So, Andrew, I'd like you to tell me what's been good for you this week.
What's been good this week? Well, I went to a fantastic conference
Right.
at the weekend,
Yeah.
which was, as I say, it was absolutely brilliant. It was all around hypnotherapy. There were some great talks around how to treat people with IBS,
Okay.
mood in the menopause. What I was saying earlier about the training in hypnotherapy. There was also a talk about childhood around hypnotherapy and how hypnotherapy can help to unleash, if you like, or get rid of all those knots from childhood and move people onwards so that they can look to the future rather than looking back.
Yeah.
Which is always great. And then there was this great discussion around artificial intelligence and around virtual reality. And one of the members bought their virtual reality headset, which we all had a go at. So it was just brilliant. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. And obviously I drove there in my lovely little car. And I drove there with the roof up because I didn't want to spoil my hair. But on the
Okay.
way home, it was down. And I looked like Bridget Jones at the end of the day when I got in. Hair everywhere. So,
Have you thought about trying to scarf?
oh, that's no fun, is it?
Well, no. When I had a convertible car, it was always about how much of a mess I could make of my hair. That was how I measured success and joy in my car ride. Okay, that sounds
That was
fabulous.
Absolutely brilliant.
What else?
Yeah. What else? So, and then I had a lovely catch up with my sister this morning.
Uh-huh.
She's been on holiday for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, I know, lucky her. And has invited me to go on holiday later in the year.
Ooh.
So, two great things.
Yeah, that sounds
so-
good. Okay, and I would like one more because you're making it sound too easy.
Oh.
And there's no fun for me in it when you make it sound easy.
Okay. What's else has been good? The other thing that's been good is that I have we talk about garden again. My garden now, I've got loads of hollyhocks and sweet peas in my garden, and they are all coming out.
They're beautiful.
Every time I look in my garden now, it makes me smile
Yeah.
and it makes me feel good because it looks so beautiful.
Yeah. It's a joy.
And the joy of sweet peas is you cut them and they come back in abundance. So it's just, I've got about 7 vases
Oh, wow.
on my
They are
side at the
beautiful.
moment.
And it's
so-
a lovely thing to see in the garden as
Yeah.
well, isn't it? That moment when you open the curtains in the morning and there they are in all their glory.
yeah, they're wonderful.
Great. Okay. Well
So-
done. I'm glad you've had such a lovely time.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask you, Karen, now.
Excellent.
What have you felt grateful for this week?
What have I felt grateful for this
Yeah.
week? Okay, so I think my first one is it's about pulling positives out and negatives, isn't it? So I need a new shed in my garden, and I want a bigger shed, and so I need a bigger shed base. And I've been trying to find people to come and do the shed base. And unfortunately, it can be like this sometimes. Kind of people are just really busy and they don't get back to you, or you accept a quote and then they never actually give you a date to do it. So I've just bitten the bullet, and after talking to some friends, I've discovered a way that I can do it myself, and I actually have started it this morning.
Fantastic.
So
Well done.
I'm
That's
feeling
brilliant.
really grateful for having sort of the resourcefulness to have a go at doing it myself, having a friend network that can give me advice,
Yeah.
and just being able to solve problems rather than be grumpy or unhappy or stressed because you rely on other people and they're unable to help you.
Yeah.
So it's not meant to be a rant about people, really. It's just genuinely I'm grateful that, I've been able to find a solution to this and I can keep that project moving. under my own steam, which is always best in my opinion anyway.
But also boosting your own confidence.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
and self-esteem in what you can actually do.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of things myself, and then as you get a little bit older, I think you do it less, don't you? Particularly when you're busy at work.
Yeah.
But I am quite capable, actually. You know, so
Brilliant.
you know, watch this space and see what the shed looks like on the
I look
base,
forward to
on the
seeing
base
it.
of Karen built.
Brilliant. And what else?
What else am I grateful for? I'm grateful for this morning's walk and cup of coffee. So it was a lovely day, so I was able to do that. I'm also feeling very grateful for the work we're doing together at the moment. And we haven't said very much about this, and we probably won't yet for a few weeks. But in addition to the podcast, we're actually starting to do some practical work together, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I'm finding that incredibly rewarding and
So rewarding.
satisfying at the moment. Working with a really fabulous bunch of people, and it's a real joy. I feel really grateful that I have the opportunity to be able to do things like that as well. So
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. Yeah, it's been brilliant.
more about that on a later podcast. But
Yeah.
I feel very grateful to be able to be involved in something like that at the moment. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, I think that's it for now, isn't it? Is there
Seems
anything
a bit
else?
I don't think so. Do you want to give me one more? What's been good?
Oh, that came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Good. That was my intention.
We might be here a while, folks.
No, come on.
No. Another thing that is good is that we've got this new microphone.
Yes, we
Which
didn't
we
even
haven't
say anything about the
mentioned.
new microphone, have we?
No, but it's sat here in front of us, and it looks very, very professional.
It does. It looks more professional than you and me.
So,
But look at us, we've got proper kit.
I know,
haven't we?
starting.
How could we?
This is our 10th podcast, and we've just got a new microphone.
Yes, just not recording on the audio of my laptop. No, it's the bee's knees. I'm very grateful for the new microphone, particularly since you paid for it.
Yeah, my treat. Very happy.
I'm very grateful, thank you.
Brilliant. So I hope that this podcast sounds great because we have a new microphone.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
but we'll be back again sometime soon
Yes.
with another one.
Yeah.
We haven't worked out what we're going to do yet.
No,
But
we'll probably put a warning, or not a warning. Warning. We'll probably put it on
We'll
Facebook
warn you
what the
before we
subject's going to be. Just a warning. Parental guidance required.
and the
there we
warning
go.
will go out on social media.
Yes, indeed. Yes. That's the idea.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thanks ever so much, everybody, for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
It's
Stay
been
well.
fun again.
Yeah. Take care. Bye
See you
bye.
soon. Bye.